Today we'll be taking a look at the city of Philadelphia. Our use case is around event security. Our company is a major sponsor of the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. We'll be hosting several events throughout the city of Philadelphia throughout the duration of the World Cup. So we want to make sure that we're getting ahead of things and assessing the locations that we'll be operating in. Here on the map, we can see Lincoln Financial Field saved where the games will be played. We'll be hosting at least one tailgate throughout that time period. The Hyatt Centric City Center where most of our employees and guests will be staying. And then we have a venue where we'll be hosting an after hours event over one of the weekends of the World Cup. So in order to get a lay of the land, I'm going to start us at the city level, and we'll switch over to our boundary view and just get a general idea of what types of things are most commonly happening around Philadelphia. Here when we look at overall crime, we can see nonviolent theft, simple assault, vandalism, vehicle theft, theft from vehicle are some of the top 5 most common things that you'll see. When we look at some of the crimes that maybe we care a little bit more about, violent crimes like aggravated assault, robbery, those things, while they happen less frequently, are still very common in throughout the city of Philadelphia. We can also see that when it comes to violent crime, things most commonly happen in the evening and nighttime. So this gives us some context as we evaluate our locations. I'm going to switch over to base score so that we can get a feel for how risk changes across the city. Here we can see Lincoln Financial Field is in a lower risk area. Our hotel is in a slightly higher risk area, and then the event venue that we'll be hosting our after hours event at is in what looks to be the highest base score area of the city. So let's focus in on those violent crimes and see how things change. We can see the risk drops a little bit for city center, stays about the same for the area of the event venue. So let's take a look at our hotel and see what other detailed recommendations we can put in place for our travelers. Focusing on violent crime, I'm going to switch over to our heat map view. This is going to help me see concentrations of violent crime around the area that we're operating in. We can see here that a quarter mile around this facility, there's been about 189 simple assaults, 58 aggravated assaults, and 45 counts of robbery in the past 12 months. We also see 9 homicides in that same radius, something that we'll certainly want to keep in mind. Similar to what we see across the city, evening time frame is the most common time period to witness or experience a violent crime. Here we can see it's almost twice as likely that it's going to occur in the evening as any other time period throughout the day. We see night as the second most common time period. So these will make our way into recommendations for travelers, in order to make sure that they're practicing good situational awareness best practices as they're going to grab drinks in the evening, heading to dinner, entertaining clients, whatever it might be. And we can even get as detailed as helping them understand that the majority of this activity as it relates to violent crime is clustered to the north and east along Chestnut, Broad, and South 15th Street from that hotel. So, depending on our risk tolerance, we might go as far as to say we prefer you take Ubers in the evening and night time frame, or we just want to make sure people are aware of that heightened sense of risk in those time periods. So these types of things will all go into our briefing. When we're ready to create the briefing, we can hop over here to generate report. And what this will help us do is get the relevant charts, graphs, and visualizations to support our data and the recommendations that we're making. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.